Good morning, Acadiana, and welcome to another edition of Morning Coffee with Big Al
and Special T.
We're happy to be coming to you from Cypress Street Radio, AOC Community Media's streaming broadcast.
Look for us every day of the week. Our 8 a.m. show will start your morning off right. That's right, in a good way.
Not right as in radical right. We bring you good ideas, good pastimes, and who knows what else.
With a
progressive flair.
We're going to get that timing right. We're going to get it eventually. Okay.
Well, pretty good.
Yeah. We bring you, let's see, what are we going to do? We're going to have our 7 p.m. show, which is a great backdrop for some decaf and peace of mind. So whatever it is you like to do, whatever it is you like to drink, you can even eat while you listen to our show on Morning Coffee. So do it. Sit back and enjoy the show.
Yes.
Okay, well, I guess we're going to just keep on talking.
Well, yeah, I think we probably could. I think that would be...
no matter what, we can make this
used
right.
To do that.
We can make this right because we're right in a good way.
Oh, yeah. Not radical right.
All right. Well, this is been an interesting day for me. I don't know about you, but you know, the storm blew through Louisiana, the Delta storm almost on the heels of the Laura storm.
Yeah.
Was there also a Sally storm and a Marco that dissipated? I mean, 4 storms in pretty close succession. And, I want to do an announcement that we probably haven't had officially yet. I always get in trouble for doing this, but I don't care. Lafayette Parish is in the process of being included in the declared as a disaster area.
Oh, it hasn't. That hasn't been done already.
It's in progress. Okay. Yeah, there were some folks who were a bit concerned because of the damages they sustained, and it really, elevates your ability to get help to be designated as a disaster, an area of disaster, officially, federally and all that business.
Yeah.
And it just, it's that there's the carryover. There's so much stuff where the focus has been on Laura, and there's still so much damage and so much work to be, addressed. And now this on top of it, I'm imagining that there were a whole lot of blue tarps that were blown out of the way and more water damage. But the interesting thing about this storm, I don't know if you noticed it, Al, but it seemed like this storm was, the rain was a precursor to the actual hurricane winds. It was like we had all this rain that came down, and it came down, but it wasn't really blowing hard. It was just coming down really hard. And then there was the wind in the night that was like wailing and blowing. And I don't know. I'm assuming that all that light I saw was not lightning. That was transformers that had exploded into the night sky. It looked like arch after arch of white against a black backdrop. It was amazing.
I didn't see much of that down here, but then I don't have, my views are very limited out of this chair.
Oh, well, yeah, I guess so. All you get to see is, people here that are talking to you on the computer.
The house here, the house there, and the house there. Well, I have to actually get up and go close. And then, it's, if I go outside, then I can see stuff. And I guess my view is okay. I can't really complain about it. It's just, I can move around too,
Well, I would have not been able to have seen what I saw comfortably, except that on my own I got a screen to fit my storm door so that I could open the window and not have, cats and dogs and possums and things coming through the door.
Right.
So I got the wind And I still had some protection from the storm glass, but I was able to open it up and get as much wind as I wanted, and really, really feel like I, had a full sensory perception of what was going on, because my door opens to the west, and that's the direction that the worst of the storm was, I think.
Yeah, I would think, just imagining looking out your front door, that would be a pretty good view.
Yeah, it was spectacular. No doubt about it. Yeah. But anyway, my heart and our hearts go out to everybody who, had some serious damage. There were a good many people who were very fortunate, and then there are a good many people who are not. And for you, we are so sorry. I do want to share that tomorrow, or well, it'd actually be today, or no, maybe it was yesterday. I'm not sure what it's going to be, but it would be Friday the 17th. Is that what the date's going to be?
I think maybe Friday will be the 16th.
The 16th. Friday the 16th at a place called USA Share Care. It's on Johnson Street, up a little road, where they've got like a resale shop. Mm-hmm. It's close to, oh gosh, what is it close to? I don't have the address, but if you go and look at, I know it's on the Rotary Club of Lafayette North Facebook page. Uh-huh. And it would probably be on anything that has to do with USA Share Care. They are going to be giving out 500 chili lunches to, preferably to people who have, sustained hardship and damage, and maybe have had to just empty out their refrigerator, freezers, or they're from Lake Charles here in Lafayette to have a hot meal that they, might not have had otherwise. So, I don't think you have to sign up, but like I said, there's 500 meals. It's 500 meals. Yeah. And they're going to serve them, and they'll be hot. And that should be chili, I think, chili meals. Mm-hmm. So,
is this chili with beans or chili without beans?
I do not have any idea, but I don't think beggars can be choosers, I mean, that's what I always heard. That, okay. You don't look a gift horse in the mouth. You just, all those wonderful little sayings from the wise mothers, that they always tell you when you're growing up. Just be, go there with an open mind. It may not be your mama's recipe, but it'll be from the heart.
Yeah, that is good.
Kind hands and loving heart. There you go.
Okay. Yeah, fortunately, my power came back on before my refrigerator and freezer warmed up too much, I think. At least I haven't died from anything.
Yeah, I've heard of some people came down with food poisoning, one of the last storms or whatever that came through. I don't know what happened, but they survived. They had to go to the hospital, but they survived, so that was good. Not me. Thank goodness.
Yeah.
I think I stay in a continual state of, like a very powerful stomach. It's just like, okay, I'm going to eat this. I don't care. But anyway, there's some really, I don't know if you noticed my shirt.
Yes, I did, as a matter of fact.
Yeah. And today I've already been on television recording information about a very special day in the life of anybody that's associated with Rotary, and actually should be a very special day to everybody in the world, because the name of October the 24th is
Indigenous.
Let me see. In Polio Now. World Polio.
Okay.
World Polio Day. Hello, I needed a little refresher here. There. See.
Prompt?
Polio. Prompt. Yes. Yeah. The 24th every year for the last few years, maybe for many years, has been October the 24th for the efforts that go out for Rotary Club International and all the clubs throughout the world. We're talking a membership of 1.2 million people who, as members of Rotary, have taken upon themselves to be a part of the support to eradicate polio from the world. And when this became one of the missions, one of the main missions of Rotary, was back in the 80s. So 35 years, and in these 35 years, the number of cases of polio has dropped from like 135,000 to, well, at one point in time, just 4 years ago, we were that close. We had only 3 countries that had any cases of wild polio, and that was Nigeria, Pakistan, and Afghanistan. Well, I'm excited to say that Nigeria is now polio-free, which means that as of August of this year, the continent of Africa has been officially certified as a polio-free continent. Which
that's good.
I am so excited. I mean, it really touches my heart. It really touches my heart. And on the 24th of October, there's things happening all over the world to try and gain more support, more resources, more money, because even though it's a small amount compared to 135,000, it's the hardest part of actually achieving this. If we get rid of polio, it will be the second major disease that has been eradicated from the world.
Well,
yeah,
that sounds good. And I guess that brings up the question, what was the first disease?
Smallpox.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, smallpox. Anyway, if you go to inpolio.org, you'll find all sorts of very interesting information. They have such good things. There's something on there, a quote from Angelica Kidjo. Do y'all remember Angelica Kidjo? She was at our Festival International in 2015. She was a barnstorm. I mean, she brought the show down. I have a picture of her from when she actually performed for Festival International. She had like a rumba line going all through all those people in front of Park International, you know, not the bunny hop, like the samba. Anyway, and she has just a wonderful voice, and she writes about this achievement for Africa, that I'm from a generation who has witnessed the devastating effects of polio. When I discovered how close we were to eradicating polio, I was very moved to be a part of this movement. It is so rare when you can accomplish something so spectacular. And that's from Angelique Kidjo. Singer-songwriter. Her home country is Benin. But if y'all went to the festival, you might recognize her face. She was there, and I was there too. I loved it. She really impressed me. She's a magnificent artist. So we've got some really outstanding people who are a part of this. Bill and Melinda Gates have been helping with this for years, matching. I'm serious. The Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation has been matching polio donations for this for years. And I think it's now like an even match. Hey, I'm serious. Why are you laughing?
I believe you. I just, whenever I hear about Gates, it makes me think of the transmitters that he's injecting while.
Oh, but that's not true. You know that's not true. People say
I know that.
he's a little guy who just, had a big brain. I mean, he didn't have to go to college. He went into his garage and he made the world a better place. And he's still doing that with, he does that with the resources that he has. He and his wife, they've done a lot of really good things in their time.
Yeah, I would say they probably have. I mean, I just find it amusing that people come up with some of the stuff they come up with.
Because of the polio vaccine. They've been supporting the polio vaccine all this time, I mean, for years and years, since my lifetime. But, well, maybe not since my lifetime. I'm not that old. But, my later years, he's been supporting us.
Yeah, I didn't know he was doing anything with polio, really, but I'm not surprised.
He is one of the major partners, or his foundation is. But to kind of give you an example of some of the cool things that I found this. This is one of our challenges. I gotta put my glasses on, you. I'm so sorry.
You look good in glasses.
This is supposedly each November, which is after World Polio, but there's a club in Tucson, and they do a 100-mile cycle up, and they call it El Tour de Tucson, where Rotary members get together and ride. It's like one of the top cycling events in the United States. It attracts more than 9,000 cyclists every year. It goes through miles to end polio. It's raised more than $53.3 million for the eradication efforts, and that is matched by Bill and Melinda Gates.
That's pretty good chunk of change.
No kidding. And so anyway, if you like to ride your bike, I mean, this is something you can sign up to do in November. I joined Rotary.
Well, now if I just had a sponsor to take me and my bike out there, maybe I'd do that.
Well, that sounds interesting. Maybe you should be a Rotarian. It's a good club. But anyway, I'm not here to promote Rotary. I'm here to promote the end of polio. Here's my other graphic. You see that?
Yeah.
See those two little spots? Those are the only spots that have wild polio now.
Well, that's
we've done a good job.
You can move it down just a little bit. Yeah, there you go. That's better.
Yeah, that's Pakistan and Afghanistan.
Yeah.
We used to have one in Africa, but it's gone now. And there's a doctor who was involved with that. And we're going to be seeing a little bit of him very shortly. I had a whole paper on him that, of course, I can't find it. But we will spotlight some of an interview with him where he talks about what he's done. He's been recognized by Time, Time magazine, probably.
Right.
One of the world's 100 most influential people. And he's being recognized for all the work that he has done. He was born 35 years ago.
Okay.
So...
Like today, 35 years ago, or just roughly 35 years ago?
Oh, no. He joined Rotary 35 years ago.
Ah, okay.
Okay, I'm like, wait a minute. That doesn't sound right because he looks as old as I am. I'm like, I'm saying something wrong. No, he's been a Rotarian for 35 years, which is right about when we started the work that we were doing, to realize that this was something that we wanted to try to achieve. So he's been on the ground for, I guess, the whole time, but very, very implemental in this recent milestone of getting Africa certified to be free of polio.
Well, that's pretty good, I'd say.
Yeah, I would encourage people to go. I put some of these things that I have on the Facebook page for Rotary Club of Lafayette North. And as I mentioned, actually it's going to be on TV on some of our regular channels too. So we're going to try and get, we're trying to do, our little club's trying to do a media blitz. We're going to try and get it where everybody realizes that October 24th, we're just, it's too important, and especially with COVID. And let me share something about COVID and our efforts, is that our network that we've established to have these vaccines shared throughout the world, I have no doubt that this will be the same network, another feed of the network that will help to fight and make it where COVID is no longer a threat either.
So the same channels that are already established by the Rotary Club will facilitate the distribution of the
and all the partners, because the people involved with it is not just us, it's UNICEF, it's the World Health Organization, Rotary. I mean, we've all partnered together to help make this happen. And so it's not an individual effort, it's a partnering effort. Kind of like what other countries are doing to develop the vaccine to begin with.
Yeah.
They've established international cooperatives. Of course, we haven't.
Well,
just throw the world aside. I think there's some poetic,
justice
metaphor there, about tossing the world away.
Well, yeah, I'd say being rugged individuals hasn't served us all that well in this case.
Absolutely not. Absolutely not.
But I guess some people can take solace in thinking they're a rugged individual, and that's the best way to go.
Well, it won't score you a lot of points with a lot of people.
Well, the thing is, when you have a cooperative effort, people working together with a common cause, shall we say. I mean, there's just all kinds of ways to phrase it, but, a common vision, it's just, I could go on and on, but, with a situation, the COVID thing, I mean, you look at the countries that have done, cooperative efforts, people wearing masks, social distancing, that kind of thing. I mean,
taking things seriously and caring about your impact on other people.
Exactly. I mean, it's not like it's a terribly hard thing to do, but, I guess if you don't do it, you pay the price. And I think we've paid the price to a considerable extent here.
What do we have? 120?
200 and probably...
No, 120,000. Oh, 220. How many deaths have we got now?
Yeah, about 220. Coming up on 220 if it's not already.
You know that's more deaths than all these big wars we've been in together.
Well, the
World War I, II, the Korean War, the Vietnam War. I mean, add them all together and it's less than that number.
Well,
for the United States.
Yeah, it's at least we didn't get anybody alarmed about it though.
Oh, yeah. Well, what was that run on toilet paper?
Yeah. Other than that, the toilet paper panic of spring 2020, other than that, I guess people didn't get too alarmed about it.
Oh. Well, I guess maybe we should maybe take a break. And
we could do that.
Our very, very informative information about World Polio Day and the people kind of working to do what we've done with Africa. I'm excited.
Well, it sounds good.
Thank you for staying with us. Last month, the Independent Africa Regional Certification Commission, ARC, for polio eradication declared that the World Health Organization African region is free of wild polio virus. Indeed, for the continent at large. How do we also combat the circulating vaccine-derived poliovirus type 2? How? Okay. Tunji Funshaw is the chairman, National Polio Plus Committee of the Rotary International. He's also named as one of the 100 most influential people of 2020 by Times magazines.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Okay, let's start from that point. One of the 100 most influential people. When you saw that, how did you feel?
Well, I felt quite honored, and it was a humbling experience because, like you said, of the hundreds of thousands of people in the world doing a lot of good things, Time decided to pick me amongst those people, and I gave total credit to my organization, Rotary, for giving me the pedestal. Otherwise, I'll be resting on one corner of Lagos, just doing my thing, as they said, as they say. So it's a humbling moment. It's a moment of honor. It's a moment of gratitude to God, for giving me the wherewithal to be able to stay the course over 3.5 decades.
I was going to ask you, so how have you been able to influence people over 3.5 decades? So how?
Well, I think when people see that your intentions are genuine, and when they see that you are willing to put your money where your mouth is, and not just say, go and do this, and they do not see you practicing what you preach, it will be very difficult to keep any group together. My current group of members of my committee have been with me for 7 years. Not a single one of them has used excuse of work. And I'm telling you, I'm talking about people who are top legal practitioners, CEOs of top companies, who have stayed with us despite the other commitments, to make sure that the task we set for ourselves, they give their best to make sure that we succeed. And that's why we're here today. It's the effort of a lot of volunteers who haven't decided that this is what needs to be done. We're willing to make the sacrifices.
So let's come back to this wild polio thing. Yeah. 4 years since it was detected? Yeah?
Yeah.
But how commendable is this effort of the African leaders in combating the virus?
African leaders, I made this comment, in one of my appearances in the media yesterday, is that the polio eradication effort has shown us that when we come together either as a nation or as a continent, for a common goal, and we have the political will to do it, there's no challenge that can stop us from doing so, no matter what the challenge is. Once we put our mind to it, genuinely to do it, there's nothing we cannot do in Nigeria, there's nothing we cannot do in Africa. Polio eradication is something that has taught us this lesson. So if in future somebody gives us this excuse that, Nigeria is more populated than other countries, or my country's GDP is quite low, we cannot do this, we can show them the scorecard of polio eradication. So it can be done. If we decide and we put all our efforts in it, it can be done.
So what exactly did Rotary do that resulted in this huge achievement, which we're all celebrating?
Well, fundamentally, we worked in 4 thematic areas. One is advocacy, because as I was telling someone on our ride here on the phone, one of our earlier mistakes that we're still making with other diseases is that we assume that people who you are bringing something good to will automatically embrace it without communicating with them the benefits both in the short term and the long term. We're doing that with COVID-19, for instance. That is one. So advocacy is one of our strong points. Rotarians are present in every nook and cranny of the country, in Africa, in the world. So we have access to our local leadership. We have access to our national leadership. So we could advocate to them to make them appreciate the importance of carrying on this effort to eradicate polio, which we started long ago. And we've been lucky in Nigeria. We've had direct contacts with all heads of states since 1999 to push forward the need for political commitment and also resource commitments. That's one thing we do. We also advocate to ourselves, Rotarians, that these things cost money. Wherever you can find a little change, put it in the kitty. Your friends, let them put something in the kitty. Your family, let them put something in the kitty. Then awareness creation. You have been, a big partner in helping us create awareness on the needs, particularly when we're having our campaigns house to house. Either it's on the news or one of us comes to your studio and advocate and you broadcast it for us so people know that we're doing house campaigns. Be ready, bring your kids out. Those people you are seeing are not strangers. They are from the partnership to protect your child. And then I mentioned fundraising. It's one of the things we've done very well is despite the ballooning costs of the eradication, we started thinking we'll do it with $120 million. And we spent so far almost $20 billion and still counting. And therefore, fundraising is important. And one of the things Rotarians are good at, again, is advocating with their governments all around the world. Even governments that have eradicated polio are still giving money to assist the Global Polio Eradication Initiative group to put in the kitty to ensure that our major programs of surveillance, doing trainings, providing vaccines, also ensuring that the issue of making sure that cold chain systems are maintained, and of course paying the hundreds of thousands of volunteers who actually do the final important thing of getting the drops of the oral polio vaccine to the children.
Okay, let's talk about this vaccine-derived poliovirus type 2. There are some countries that are still experiencing that type of polio. Does that in any way put a dent to the celebration of wild polio eradication?
Oh, not at all. Not at all. I mean, even in Nigeria, we're having that. Let me just explain how this vaccine derived comes about. Some people are of the erroneous opinion that it's the vaccine you give the child that may cause, paralysis. That is not the case. The chance of normal oral polio vaccine causing paralysis in a child is 1 in 2 million. And if you look at the cost benefit, it's not something you even think about. But the vaccine derived is the oral vaccine is a vaccine that contains live poliovirus, which has been chemically treated to make it non-infective. It has been weakened. but it is still strong enough to provoke an immune response in a child. So when the child comes in contact with the poliovirus itself, the body can attack it and destroy it. What happens with vaccine-derived is that in an environment where children are suboptimally immunized and also the environment is unhygienic, you have open sewers, where people, defecate and pass urine and so on. The vaccine-derived poliovirus comes from that kind of source because the original vaccine that is supposed to be weak, when it circulates in an environment where there's poor immunization for children, gradually gains power and becomes effective. So the way to stop it primarily is to ensure that the child is immunized. But secondly, to make sure that, we provide an environment that is hygienic, clean drinking water, flowing and, closed, drainages, so that interaction of the virus with the body will be stopped. But then even if it comes to the child and the child is immunized, the child's body, will get rid of it.
Doesn't it raise fears of a re-emergence of the wild poliovirus from this strain?
Not at all. The wild poliovirus is a different strain entirely. If you recall, when we started, we had 3 strains of wild poliovirus, type 1, 2, and 3. We have eradicated type 2, we've eradicated type 3, we're only left with type 1. And the same strategies that we have used to eradicate those 2 are the same strategies we are using now. And we're 99% or more, the way to doing that. So there's no chance at all of the vaccine-derived, becoming a wild poliovirus. There are 2 different strains of viruses entirely. The second thing, of course, is that once we make sure our children are optimally immunized against the wild poliovirus, even if the wild poliovirus is reintroduced into the country from places like Afghanistan or Pakistan, it comes into the environment. Even if a child ingests it, the child's immunity will get rid of it. So the chance of any child who is optimally immunized against the wild polio virus getting infected is 0. So that is why our focus now is to ensure that every child, though we are polio-free in this country, there's no evidence of the wild polio virus anywhere, either in a child or in the environment, that a child who is not optimally immunized, if that child comes in contact with the wild polio virus, they stand a risk of being infected.
Okay, we'll take a quick break. We'll come back to continue the conversation and the way forward, especially as all of this will affect the health sector in the face of the pandemic. I know. Just stay with us. Thank you for staying with us. We still have Tunji Funshaw, who is the chairman, National Polio Committee of the Rotary International, named as one of the 100 most influential people of 2020 by Time magazine. Thank you for staying with us, Mr. Funshaw.
Thank you.
Yes, we were talking about the vaccine-derived polio, and I wanted to know how widespread it is, especially in Nigeria.
Well, it's not widespread in Nigeria. In late January, we had the case in Sokoto State, and just last week we had a case in Lagos State. But the thing about the circulating vaccine-derived polio virus is that we have a protocol that helps us to deal with it in very quick time and bring an end to it. So it is not. It doesn't pose as much of a problem as does the wild polio virus, because usually within 6 months we can get rid of vaccine-derived polio virus wherever they may occur.
So what efforts can be made to clear this vaccine-derived polio virus completely? The same way the wild polio virus has been eradicated.
I think the most important thing is to ensure that every child is immunized against the wild polio virus. That is the most important thing. The second thing, of course, is to have a clean and hygienic environment so that even if the virus is in the environment, it doesn't interact with the child. The danger now is that where we get most of these vaccine derived are in areas, of high congestion, of poor sanitation, and poor water supply.
Water.
Yes. But then the other thing we are doing, and we are in the third stage of the vaccine trial, we are providing a new vaccine, which will be a very stable vaccine. And so far, all the stages of trial, animal trials, stage 1 trials, stage 2 trials, have proven to be very successful. So we're going to roll out the third phase of the trial next month, literally next week, because that involves a larger number of people, and you need to take it to an outbreak area. And Nigeria is one of those outbreak areas. There's a high possibility that we're going to be one of the target nations to do the phase 3 trial of this novel oral polio vaccine. This is a brand new vaccine that is developed from the scratch. It's the first new polio vaccine to have been developed since the 1955 polio vaccine was developed. So that is going to ensure that when we're doing this outbreak response, we're going to use this new vaccine.
But now with there's a pandemic in the air, the coronavirus, and then people talking about vaccines, and you're talking about this vaccine that's coming out next month. Won't it be causing any fears? Amongst the people, that will not cause any worries?
Not really. We have learned our lesson from our initial introduction of OPV to our environment, and the communities are highly sensitized now, about the need for us, because of this vaccine derived, to bring in a new vaccine. So at the very, very local level, community leaders have been sensitized. They will sensitize their people, and so it is going to cascade actually from top, to bottom, from the federal government level, to local government level, to ward level. Traditional leadership are also involved in this. By the time the third phase of the trial, starts, everybody is going to be sensitized to ensure that there's, like I said earlier, there's a buy-in. Because without a buy-in, you're going to have, issues of trust, in whatever the intervention is going to be.
Thank you very much, Tunji Funchio, Chairman, National Polio Plus Committee of the Rotary International. Also one of the 100 most influential people of 2020. I like repeating that because it's inspiring me to buy Time magazine. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much for having me.
So as we're back for the home stretch, just stay with us.
Well, I bet all of you can see, if you're looking at us on our podcast, that we have been rearranged. Yes, Alice centered, I'm centered.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's immaterial compared to the importance of what you just saw. And I hope that I hope you find it exciting. If you have roots in Africa, I'm going to make an invitation. If you have roots in Africa, this is exciting to you. I'm inviting you to go and visit Rotary Club Lafayette North and give us your name and what country in Africa you've been able to pinpoint as where you came from. I think that would be an exciting thing to do. And we will, I'm thinking next year we're going to have a big map of Africa that we, carry around for our polio day, because we're hoping COVID will not be as dangerous as it is right now. And we'll let people put push pins with their names, mark their location. Maybe we'll have a whole world map like the one we have on right now. Wouldn't that be cool? Say, I'm from here.
Yeah, that would be pretty neat for the, you're talking about just for the polio thing, right?
Uh-huh. Yeah. I think so. And then we have people from Pakistan or Afghanistan who say, hey, you need to talk to your folks at home. Please, we'd like to help.
Yeah, that's, seems like, and I don't know much about it, really, but I vaguely remember, being vaccinated many decades ago, but it seems like technically it wouldn't be that difficult to eradicate.
Well,
I mean,
the target are the children, the ones that they target is, if you listen to all of Dr. Funcho's talk, the ones that they're targeting to get the vaccine are the children.
Yeah.
I mean, everybody can get it, but if you vaccinate the children, they have a whole lifetime ahead of them without it.
Right. But I mean, everybody's susceptible to getting it. But I guess the women and children first thing.
Yeah.
Probably would be a good idea.
Absolutely. So, to me, it's just a shame that it's still here. It's just a shame because, like I said, we were so close. We were within, I would say, 25 cases. You could count almost on two hands the number of cases in 3 countries in 2016.
Wow.
There was like 14 in one country. 9 in another, and then the few others that were in Nigeria, and now that it's gone there. So
yeah.
Anyway, the other partners who have helped with this are the World Trade Organization, the World Health Organization, WHO, UNICEF, the U.S. Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation, and Gavi, the Vaccine Alliance. And that with, of course, Rotary. So hats off, for what we've accomplished. And we've still got a ways to go. I hate to say it, but one of those countries now has almost 150 cases compared to what we had before.
Well, it just, I don't know, I understand a little about logistics and stuff like that, but it just doesn't seem like it would be all that difficult to, work out some kind of a system to vaccinate people,
Right. Well, one thing that we're not taking into account is the geography of these countries. Afghanistan, if you, there's a book that, a man who actually ventured out there. He's a mountain climber. He climbed Kilimanjaro and all, and he wrote a book called 3 Cups of Tea. And it talks about his adventure to go into Afghanistan and to reach these people who live on these cliffs that are almost impassable. And to do that and bring materials so that you can actually build things is just quite a feat in itself. So getting there with the supplies, it is a task and a challenge in itself.
Well, I can kind of see that. I can see that, and I guess plus there might be some resistance from the
culture
local people, right, about not wanting anybody there, which is kind of understandable.
And trust.
Right, exactly.
There's big efforts to try and overcome the obstacles for world peace.
Yeah.
And we've been trying for a long time. When we get these yahoos in there, you look at folks like Napoleon Bonaparte, and just.
Yeah, he was actually taller than what most people think.
Oh, really?
So I read.
Okay. Well, reading is a good thing to do. A lot of people don't bother, but...
yeah, it's fundamental, according to one campaign.
He was a big liar. Napoleon Bonaparte was.
That I couldn't say. I don't know.
Well,
I hadn't read.
The people who give tours and all over there in France and all tell about how Napoleon Bonaparte, for the mural of his inauguration, where they put the crown of laurels on his head and everything. His mother didn't attend, but and he was mad because she didn't attend. But he recorded history. He had the artist that painted the mural put his mother in the group that were watching.
Made the crowd size 5 times.
The crowd size a little bit bigger. Oh my goodness.
A common thing.
Yeah, there are some other things going on that are going to bridge World Polio Day. We have early elections going on right now. They started the 17th. I had a little page.
16th.
The 16th, that's right.
Because there's a place right down the road for me, 4 minutes away, and I can go early vote right down the road, so they say.
And it is the East Regional Library, yes?
I don't know. It's on La Nouvelle, but it's like 215 La Nouvelle or something like that. I mean, I looked at, it's like 4 minutes from me. Which,
they have 3 locations, and that's one of the new locations. The other new location is one that a lot of people know where it is. It's on Cora. It's the Martin Luther King Center. They're going to have early voting there. And that's what? Is that 303, Cora?
Let me see. Well, I can't get a good picture of my phone there, but
you have to put it right next.
It's the reflection, but 309 Cora Street.
309 Cora Street.
Yeah.
And the other one is
215 La Nouvelle.
215 La Nouvelle, and then the other
one in Youngsville, but then you have the good old reliable on 1010 Lafayette.
Yes, and they have improved. It happened last December. They improved the I think, because I don't think it was the December before. When you went to pay your taxes, it was closed. The tax office is also in that building because they were improving the accessibility to match the American Disabilities Act, and the sidewalks were all fixed, and it's a really smooth path now to get to inside that building, where before it was not. And that was a source of some contention, rightfully so, by voters, whether they had trouble or not. It still was a difficult walk to just get over the cracks.
Well, not to mention finding a parking space.
That's still an issue.
Well, at least they have right around the corner there. I mean, it's not too bad not too bad for me. I'm still going to go down to La Nouvelle, though, I think, unless it's overly packed or unless I have to,
you do have a good amount of parking there at the library. They also have a good amount of parking. Of course, the parking lot could probably use a overlay at Martin Luther King, which would be a nice thing. If, funding might be allocated to that, because they got some potholes and cracks and stuff in the parking lot there. But it is a big parking lot, and you don't have to pay money, or you don't have to go drive around it, 5 times before you have a place to go in and vote.
Well, the bags they put over the parking meters in downtown, near the 1010 Lafayette, I mean, that was an improvement. I mean, it's still, for some people, it's a little bit more of a walk, but then they do have 2 handicap places that are right there, right next to the front door.
Yes. So. And there's one that's not a handicap place, but that you can stop and drop off.
Okay.
You don't stay there, but you can stop and drop off. So anyway, that's good. That's on the 3rd floor. Oh, and I told everybody the last time we were together I was going to test this out, and let me tell you, it works. If you get your absentee ballot mailed to you, you can make sure that it's filled out completely and correctly, and you can drive it to 1010 Lafayette, to the registrar's office on the 3rd floor.
Not to mention witnessed.
Well, that's part of filling it out correctly.
Well, I just wanted to emphasize that.
It has to be witnessed. You should put your mother's maiden name, whatever it was, and you need to fill out that. You need to follow the directions correctly. You need to not take the perforated tab off. You need to leave that on. There's a strip on the inside of the secret. No. It says that there's a tab on the inside of the envelope where you put your ballot. You put your ballot in the envelope that's got the perforated tab on it. You seal it up by just pulling that strip and closing it. You fill out that tab on the outside. Do not remove it. Do not put it inside with the ballot. Do not. Leave it attached. Slip it into the secret envelope that makes it where that would be the one you'd put your stamp on and mail it. If you have the wherewithal or the concern about the mail, which they say is really not a thing, except that it does take about 8 days to mail anything.
Yeah, somebody was, I read that recently.
So if you're running shy on time, you can go to the registrar's office and hand them that envelope, and you will know that they got it, and they will accept it gladly, because I did it already.
Yeah, I haven't. Like I say, tomorrow I think I'm going to pop down the road and go to the new early voting place.
Yeah.
But and I haven't heard any reports of any false ballot drop-off places here in Lafayette.
Yeah, because we're really a pretty docile parish area. Our little protests, haven't been anything to write home about, except that we're so nice. Peaceful protesting. Everybody, kind of does what they're supposed to do, unless somebody shoots their gun by accident. I think that happened.
Yeah,
I heard that happened at the militia gathering.
Oh, I heard something about that. Yeah.
Yeah, but all in all, we don't cause a lot of trouble. Even though
maybe not. I guess other than Antifa taking over River Ranch and the mall, I guess we've been. There used to be the Animal Liberation Front, the ALF. I haven't heard about that.
Well, they're the group that has taken action against animal abuse and using animals for research, where they're doing horrible things to them. And at one time they were a group, but now they're not really a group anymore. It just is an acronym for animal liberation, right? That people still do stuff, but they're not organized. They just it's the idea. And Antifa, I'm sorry, is anti-fascist. I mean, I think everybody wants anti-fascist. They are not supposed to be. Their thing is not. Anyway, they're not an organized group. I know somebody likes to say that, but hey, what does he know? He knows everything. He's so smart.
Well, it's kind of, once again, it's kind of funny, along with a lot of other things that people. I mean, I'm anti-fascist myself. The troops that invaded Normandy and toward the end of the Second World War, I think they were probably anti-fascist too.
Absolutely. So,
but it's not.
I guess so. What we need to do is kind of to wrap up our messaging today as two big things, right? Go vote.
Yeah, that'd be good.
And do something good on World Polio Day.
Well,
share your story, go to endpolio.org and check it out, because it's
endpolio.org, huh? One word, huh?
endpolio.org.
Okay.
Or go to my club's Facebook page.
Okay.
Rotary Club. In fact, you could probably go to any Rotary Club. You could just look up Rotary Clubs, and they probably have something about World Polio Day. If not, they've got people that are even worse at the computer than I am, which is possible.
Okay.
It is possible. So anyway, that's really cool.
Yeah, well, that sounds good. I guess I know we have a little bit of time left, but I'm just thinking, what's going on with, we have the hearing for the kind of ramrod ACB through into the Supreme Court.
Yeah, that too.
Yeah, I saw that.
I want to bring my messaging closer to home and just wish everybody that's had storm damage, that there will be an end to this and that they will get the help they need. And
that would be nice.
Tell the people that are your local representatives that you need help, and it's their job to get with these groups that are there to help you.
Well, yeah, I guess maybe there are some people, maybe some local representatives that might be helpful. I can help. I can think of 3 in particular that probably wouldn't be too much help, but
we want the ones that will be. I know that there is work right now to declare that Lafayette is a disaster area related to the Delta hurricane. So assistance should be on the way, even federally, to help with food you've lost and the damage that's been done to your homes for that.
Yeah. Well, I mean, FEMA, I had spoken with my family in Lake Charles, and I really don't know what FEMA's doing over there. I'm sure I would think they're helping. I don't know, but I would think they're providing some relief, but I could be wrong about that, because it's could be. Well, like I say, I just don't know about that, and I really couldn't get much information. But
you can ride around. I mean, even here in Lafayette, and see how there's been so much destruction to so many trees. Large trees have come down, and if you're an outdoorsman, and you like to hike or something like that, the paths that were there have been. A lot of them will have big trees that have been downed in the way. And I know there's going to be a concerted effort to try and get that done, even at like a Acadiana Park, the trails that go through there. There's plenty of work to do for all able-bodied guys and girls that would, like to do their part. Keep your ears and eyes open. And I think we've got a group called Trails, Louisiana Trails, LA.org, that are responsible for things like Psycho Zydeco Festival. That was actually canceled, but 16 bike riders were already on their way. They were already on their way through the paths from Montana and New Jersey to Louisiana. And they arrived the weekend of our hurricane. And so...
Not the best timing, I would say.
Well, probably not, but they, being says that all that effort they went to, the people that were the sponsors who had, canceled, rolled out the red carpet and threw a little party for them. So,
well, that's good. That's kind of...
We're Louisiana. We love to party and we love visitors. So, just
and we
ask,
love those festivals.
Ask Billy Nunguzzer, our head of, attorney lieutenant governor that pushes for tourism. Yeah?
What? No, say that
That's
again.
the thing. Nungezer. Did I pronounce it correctly?
None guesser?
Yeah, I pronounced it close enough.
Okay.
Yeah,
Billy.
I imagine he's really feeling the pinch on our tourist industry, like so many have. So anyway, we're looking forward to 2021, everybody. And in the meantime, we hope that, like I said, help will be on the way. And we're pretty good about neighbors helping each other.
Yeah. Yeah, that would be, that's definitely good, when you can help out your neighbor. And there's a lot of people that need help right now.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So I will be, like many of the rest of you, I will be with my loppers and trying to clear out the tree that's in my backyard on top of my clothesline.
Yeah. Well, and we haven't mentioned our
we're not going to mention anything except go vote.
Yeah.
Go vote. Go vote. Because that's what we need to do. Remember, there's 3 places now. The East Library in Youngsville, the Martin Luther King building on Cora, the center, and then the registrar's office on 1010 Lafayette on the 3rd floor. Vote and let your voice be heard.
Yes, definitely.